Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is the drinking Jiunn Liu.
Hello.
So today we are doing the IPCPR 2017 Day 1 recap. So today is Tuesday, July 11th, 2017. First day of the show is in the books. We're just going to hop right into the booths that we hit today, stuff we saw, our thoughts on the show for today, and then, I don't know, maybe just a couple of BS items, and then head out, and then we'll get you back on Day 2 recap tomorrow. So the first booth we hit, we did our normal strategy to go all the way to the back of the show, try to get away from the crowds so that we can get some time with some people. The first company that we hit was Dominion Cigars. It's a Canadian company. They have a few brands, I think, that they've had out already, but they have the Classic out for this year. Kind of a yellow and black checkerboard design on that. So that's something new coming out from them. And then they also have a cigar that's celebrating the 150-year Canadian independence. That's supposed to be out either later this year or next year.
It's called the Confederation.
Yes.
Yeah, the Mini Confederation.
Right. So that was interesting. We got a nice bit of time with them to kind of go over that, kind of give us the history on the brand, how business is done in Canada with cigars and things like that. So that was quite an interesting story.
It's interesting. I'm looking forward to this brand because the guy that we talked to escapes my mind, but he said things such as top seller in Canada and has been for many years. So kind of bringing this into the U.S. now and introducing it. I'm looking forward to see what Canada, which is predominantly a Habano smoker country, because that's mainly what they have access to.
Yeah.
It'll be like to try these out in the U.S.
Yep, exactly. After that, we ran into Matt Booth. He had a pretty cool booth set up with some video games in there for free play. So Street Fighter. And what else did he have in there? Do you have a shooter game?
Yeah, like this Wild Wild West looking shooting game.
Right.
These are all like classic games.
Yeah.
And it was free play, but I really wanted to stay and play. But we're there to hit up different booths and talk to different people. So.
What's your Street Fighter player?
Ken.
Of choice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Blonde hair Ken.
Just want to check.
Yeah. I've always wanted to be an American blonde hair guy.
Yeah. So Matt, as always, is a popular guy. So people popping in and out, saying hi and all that stuff. But we got just a few minutes to chat with him, and before we kind of let him get back to business, he did give us the truth and the hit and run. So now I'm gonna mess up which one we got that has the actual bands on it. The one with the flower, or the Room 101 kind of flower design.
Truth.
That's the truth. Okay.
Yep.
So I think that was the one ready to go. I think the hit and run is the one that's set to come out in September.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got kind of like just white bands with black lettering on it. So we'll get a chance. But we'll get a chance to smoke those. So that'll be something we're looking forward to. But we'll try to meet up with Matt a little bit when he has some more time, maybe later in the week. But I think he's gonna have a very busy time this week, just because his return after a short hiatus.
Yeah.
And who's working with.
And he's cool, man. Like within the 15 minutes or so we spent with him, every person that came by him stopped, talked to, make some bullshit jokes with him.
Yep.
So he's like that in real life as he is on camera. Like
yes.
The weirdo he is.
Exactly. After that, we hit up the Stinky booth, talked to Bill Williams. Some of the stuff might be not maybe new, but maybe the first time we saw it. They have this little the cigar rest that they have on the edge of the ashtrays. They have a little clip version of it that you can put on a tin can, like a soup can, which I thought was pretty cool. Oh. So you could just kind of set it up, whatever you have laying around, like a Campbell soup can or a Bush's baked beans, which they had it on. So that was pretty slick, I thought. I mean,
but I mean, it's cool, and I thought about it because when I first saw it, I was like, I gotta buy some.
Right.
And then I realized I don't ever save cans.
Yeah.
Use as an ashtray, but it's really unique. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
Oh.
And then they have their floor standing ashtrays, and they have one that they had that has like a handle on it. But they had said they got some feedback on it that it was tough to empty out because you'd have to pick up the whole unit, like with the stand and everything, to dump it out. So what they did was they made it so that the bowl could be disconnected and it was magnetized on the bottom. So you can reconnect the bowl But then it's really easy to just pop off and dump it. But it's not like it just can get knocked off the stand because it's got that magnet on the bottom. It's, it's a pretty big magnet. I'd say maybe like a 2 inch.
It'll stay on there. It's not going anywhere.
So we thought that was pretty cool. So I have a Stinky ashtray. You have a Stinky.
Oh yeah.
So
I use it all the time.
It's lots of people have Stinky stuff. So it's for lounges, I think that's a cool thing for the guys that just kind of single smokers and things like that. Maybe if you were a single guy and you eat a lot of stuff out of cans, that'd be a good way to do it. So we thought it was pretty cool. After that, we went over and saw Santana at DeCrossier. He has a lot of new stuff coming out this year. This is the first year that he's separated from the distribution with Espinosa, so he's kind of out on his own. But he has the Golden Blend, has a few different vitolas. He has a nice box presentation that has the different vitolas in it and stuff like that. The box is fantastic the way it looks. I mean, it's got amazing paint on it.
It's like gold paint, and it's lacquered quite a bit. Many different applications of it. It's slick.
Right. Cigar presentation is fantastic as well in there. These have a very high price point. They're the ring gauge 52, 54, 56, so similar to Bahama ring gauge, but different lengths is what my understanding. And they do carry a higher price point. So I want to say it was
I think it went
24 to 28 or somewhere around that range.
And sorry, I don't know if it's different length and ring gauges for each of those guys.
Yes. But they higher price point on those. He also has a cabinet selection. I'm not a very good judge of ring gauge when you get past maybe 54 or 55. So I asked him if these were 58, and he said no, they're 64, right? So I was way off. These are big. They're not very long, but are they 5 inch?
Yeah, they're like 5 by 64. And if I remember right, I think in terms of ring gauge, I think either 64 or a little under 64 is full inch. So it's inch in diameter. And it's a Parejo head, so it's not like tapered. So you're gonna feel the mouth feel of it.
Yes, exactly. And very Cuban-esque presentation in it as well. Ribbon wrapping the bundle, and the box is like a slide Cuban box. So very Cuban-esque presentation in regards to that cigar as well. And then he has the Florida Crossier Maduro this year as well. Comes in the tin cans, the way that the others, the other version did. He does top-notch presentation on his cigars.
His packaging and presentation in general is always great. I mean, and his cigars are good, right? So it's not like you're getting this great package and the cigars are crap, right? Like, I mean, he's definitely more flavor than strength oriented, which personal opinion, personal flavor profile fits me. But you get the cigar behind the presentation.
So we're looking forward to smoking all those blends. I mean, he just makes really good flavorful cigars. So I think we're really looking forward to those reviews. We stopped by the Foundation booth. We didn't get a chance to talk to Nick. He is super busy as always. We will stop by later in the week to talk to him, but we did get to talk to John Pappas. He's always great to talk to, spend some time with us. Talked about the El Owense Maduro that just came out. Got to see the humidor box that they have. Kind of has the fold out things with the trays that pop out. That's really slick. And then he also is doing that Highclere Castle cigar. Kind of a little bit of a tie-in with the Downton Abbey TV show. I want to say the guy's name was Adam that we talked to. So, and I don't remember what his role is. He has some sort of tie-in with the castle itself that he works with the Earl there. And they were talking about the whole story behind how this came about. That they went down into the basement of the castle and found all these records of the types of cigars that they would purchase in the day when the guys would kind of retire in the evening and have drinks and cigars and things like that. And Nick kind of took that information and tried to get some tasting notes from that and things like that to be able to put this blend together. So really great story, very recognizable branding behind it. So we're very interested in smoking that.
The concept of this is awesome, right? Like the whole Earl and the castle behind it. You got the Downton Abbey mix behind it. So maybe you get some of the more SOTOs out there that because ton of girls I know, they love Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
I do too, but
yeah,
you know, it's a great show. Anyways.
Yeah, so lots of good stuff over there. We got a chance to try some Foundation coffee from Logan over at Lane Coffee. I thought the coffee was good. I mean,
no, it was good.
We weren't pairing with the cigar, so I know that these the blends that you know, Logan and Nick put together for this were designed for the particular cigars. We smoked the El Wednesday version, right?
Yeah,
I think there's a different name for it.
Yeah,
but it's designed to go with that cigar, I believe. So,
yeah. So Logan, in his quest to partner more and more with cigar brand owners and manufacturers and creating blends for them, so it was cool to see that presence as a part of being a part of Nick's Foundation booth.
Exactly. So, and apparently Logan is the cup supplier for the entire trade show. So. Somebody from another booth came over and was scrambling because they had booze, but they didn't have cups to pour into. But Logan was gracious enough to just give us the cups. So Logan's a great guy. Next, we hit up Sacrifolium. That was June's pick for last year to be the breakout company of the year.
Oh.
So they actually came out with a new limited edition this year called the Radix. So we got to go over there and talk to them, and we got pair of those, so we'll be able to do a review on that coming up.
Super limited production.
Yeah,
I want to say something like 100 boxes or 120 boxes.
But they're 50 count boxes.
Right.
So they're Robustos 5x50.
Yeah.
The bands are the same kind of design in regards to the artwork, but the colors are different. All the other ones had kind of a blue and yellow, kind of a different not checkerboard, but there's 4 different quadrants on that band, and then this one is more of kind of just an outline of that without the coloring, and they dropped the foot band from this one. The other ones were like the Sacrifolium primary band, and the foot band had the line name on it. This one is, I think they're changing it up for all the other lines, is single band with the same primary band, but the name of the line is actually at the bottom of that same band. So. This
one's highly talked about by the brand owners, of course. But they've been hit and miss for me this past year, just smoking through them. So this one being limited edition, really heavy, dark Maduro shade, kind of a wrapper going on. I'm always interested in trying new stuff, so we'll give it a fair shake.
Yep. Next booth we hit was Micallef. This is probably going to go down for the most confusing booth.
I don't know what the hell that was. It was also like hot girls.
Yeah, so we
walking around
as soon as we got on the show floor, we saw these like very attractive women, doing interviews with people across the floor, and then we weren't really sure who it was. We get to this booth, and some woman starts chatting with us and talking about all these people doing these interviews in the booth now, and they were the same ones that were doing it out on the show floor. I don't get what the interviews are about. I can't figure out if there's a media site that they're with or what it is. And the booth was packed. I just didn't know what was going on.
I remember when we were at that booth, I was looking at it and I was like, what the F is this?
Right.
And I was like, Aaron, I'm going to go take a leak. And then I came back and I looked at it. It's the same thing going on.
I wandered around a little bit. I took some pictures of the cigars and stuff like that. But we're going to have to go back and see maybe if it slows down and we can figure out what was going on. I'm just not clear on.
I want to go back and just to check out the cigars.
Yeah.
So
I just don't know what was going on. So that's just our first impression. We'll go back and talk to some other people and see what's going on. Next booth we hit was Southern Draw. We didn't get a chance to talk to Robert because he was very busy. We did talk to Sharon.
Belle. Sharon. Sorry.
Yes.
I don't know.
He calls it. Robert calls her the Belle.
The Belle.
Yes.
Right.
Her real name is Sharon.
Yeah.
But we're going to go back to talk to Robert, but we did talk to Sharon a lot. She introduced us to all the people that were there helping them, family, friends that came out, California and Texas, and things like that. So I think they're just kind of portraying that family feel of the brand. I mean, other veterans, in part of this group and things like that.
It's literally within the setup, everything seems super organic, meaning the entire contents of the booth, Robert drove it to Vegas from Texas.
Right.
They all set it up with family and friends.
Right.
Even the ashtrays that they had there were made by their friends.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
The booth looks like someone's backyard patio.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you would sit down and it's just like you're sitting in somebody's house. So I thought that was pretty awesome. One of the things for Southern Draw, Rosa Sharon came out earlier in the year. Jacob's Ladder is going to be the one. You'll see the announcement come out tomorrow on our site, but it's been kind of leaked out there a few days earlier. But one of the big things is before, all the Southern Draw cigars had the same primary band in that kind of orangish red color, but they did have the different kind of line name within that band that gave you a difference. So if you knew it was a Connecticut or whatever it was, but now they're changing up for different colors for the different lines. Yeah. So I'm curious.
It's interesting about those. That I think that's a great facelift,
right?
Or brand lift, but I'm not sure if I saw any of the quick draws get that packaging.
Yeah, we'll have to double check.
Yeah, we'll double check.
Yeah. But I'm curious to talk to Robert, trying to get a feel for what the thinking was behind that. I mean, I could see it both ways. Like you want to have you have a common theme across all your cigars with that.
Right.
But I can also understand that people were maybe unclear on is this a different line because you have if you have Connecticut, 2 different lines.
Right.
Yeah. Is this different or not different? So that's probably some of the reasoning behind it. The bands look fantastic. The colors are orange, green, red, blue, the pink. Really looks nice. So kudos to those guys. And we'll talk to Robert a little bit later in the week, and we'll report more on that. Next booth we hit was Epic. Got to talk to Dean Parsons and Mick Grant. The only new cigar this year is that Smoking Shield cigar.
Yep.
So cigar they did for police cigar group in New York that they're kind of expanding out now to other areas and things like that. So they got a lot of good feedback on that cigar. We got some samples of that, so we'll be able to smoke that as well.
I love that concept because part of the proceeds of every sale of that cigar goes back to that group, and it helps the greater police community and the cause. And it's kind of like a Cigars for Warriors thing that everybody loves, and it's a great thing. Yeah. But this one's more geared towards the police field, police department.
Exactly. And Dean and Mick they're amazing guys. They're super friendly. Very calm, nice chit chat. Very honest. So always love talking to those guys. We didn't really get a chance to talk to Dean much last year, so I was glad that we had a chance to talk to him this year. So yeah, looking forward to smoking that one. After that, we went and had lunch. Lunch, I'm gonna say this year's a bit of a cluster.
Lunch was gross, man.
2 things. Well, maybe we made the wrong choice on what we ate. We got there and the lines were kind of insane for some of the booths. So we went to the booth with the shortest line, and that probably meant something. We got chicken strips and French fries, and
all right.
The chicken strips were passable.
Rant time, real quick. You're gonna charge me at $11.50. Yeah. Granted, we got so as a part of media, and I think retailers, we get these like meal tickets, right? So each day you get a meal ticket, and it encompasses $15. Anything over that, you pay out of pocket. $11.50 for 3 little chicken strips and soggy fries. Not cool.
Right. And then the seating was really weird. A couple of tables mixed in with the lines for the food, and then another section, it was all packed.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find really a table to sit down. To do the lunchtime learning series, I think the thing was like customer service or how to meet new customers and return customers like that.
Yeah.
We walked over there. There was a couple empty seats, so we just sat down in there and had our lunch. But we'll see how it goes the next couple of days. Maybe I don't know if they have the same thing on the other side of the floor. I don't think there was, because we walked by, it was closed down. Yeah, so I'm gonna say that's maybe one of the drawbacks of the show this year, but more to be seen. After lunch, we stopped by HVC, talked to Rainier. He's kind of close to where lunch was, so I always love talking to Rainier. He's super nice. He's just super nice. Super cool guy.
I remember Rainier when I went to my first IPCPR, which is in New Orleans 2 years ago, right? And back then he had this little like shack of it's not even a booth. It's basically
it was like a jeweler's case.
Yeah,
and a backdrop.
Yeah, it's like you're at your mall, right? And then you get the little island in the mall, but like half of that typical size.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So for him to grow to what he has now in like a nice legitimate booth, and to know that he's still striving for using some of the best Aganorsa tobacco that's to offer, and to know that personally, they use some really good tobacco, and he has really talented people behind to blend those Aganorsa tobaccos.
Right.
And to see him get bigger by that, like, that makes me happy.
Right. Pretty good amount of new cigars for him this year. Cerro Maduro. San Isidro is in a new size.
Hermosos.
La Rosa 520 in new size.
And Encantos. Basically, he's Rainier's within the Encantos, La Rosa 520, and the San Isidro Hermosos. It's definitely a tribute to Cuba.
Right.
And classic Cuba.
Is he also doing a new vitola in the Pan Caliente?
Yes. It's basically like, if I remember right, it's a shorter Lancero-ish size, kind of like a Leguito number 2 kind of a size.
Okay.
So, dinner ring gauge for sure.
He makes fantastic cigars. Looking forward to smoking them as always. So more to come on that. After that, we went over to Hammer Sickle. Not a bunch of new stuff for them. They have a new vitola for the Berlin Wall, soft box press Corona, I guess. Comes in a pretty slick little zipper case. They have 2 different sizes. Travel case. 2 different. I think one was a 10-pack.
Right.
And then one was a 20-pack.
Right.
Yeah. So the presentation Hammer Sickle is always like top notch, like over the top notch, you know. So
it's incredible what they do with packaging. I mean, just the package alone makes you want to buy their cigars.
Right.
I mean, that says a lot, right? Like,
and I really enjoy the Berlin Wall, so I'm really interested in trying this new size. So it'll be interesting as well. Kalanock 50. It was kind of released last year. I mean, I have to get more details on that, but I mean, I think it's like really released this year.
Yeah.
So I smoked 25 a while back. I liked it. I just wanted more of the peat firedness in it. So I'm hoping the 50 delivers on kind of what I was hoping for in the 25. So very interested to see that. Maybe some sad news that the FDA kind of put a kibosh on the 75 maybe coming out, but you know, maybe if things change down the road, there might be something else there.
I think it's actually legit release now because we took pictures of the Kalanock 50 this year.
Yes.
And I don't recall doing that last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Next booth we hit up was Crux. Few new cigars this year. Epicure, which was announced last year, actually going to be released this year. I think it's September, right? Okay. The IPCPR Limitada Show Edition for 2017. I don't believe there's any actual change to the blend. It's just now it's actually going to be available for sale to retailers, when last year it was only available as a giveaway as part of a certain purchase.
Right. So
that's kind of the difference for that. But they also have the 3rd release of the PB5. It's kind of called the PB5 17 or PB5 2017 version. So, you know, that's another cigar that they'll be putting out. So very interesting. Personal
milestone of our website. So they had this big banner at their booth, and it said #1 cigar of the year, IPCPR Limitada 2016 Limitada.
Yes.
Right. It had developing palates. Our name.
Right. So they had
I was pretty proud of that.
Yes,
man.
I agree.
So granted, it wasn't my #1 cigar,
right?
But it was his. But it was still on my top 25. I think it was like number 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a really freaking good cigar.
Yeah. So the banner was kind of all the cigars that got really high accolades for them this year. So Coop's the Connoisseur was on there as his #1, ours, and then there's a couple other ones from wherever they got those accolades from. So very cool that we were on. You know, got to get on a banner and stuff like that. So awesome. Also in the catalog. So the catalog that goes out to retailers, that's also in there for that. So maybe get a little bit of crossover from some retailers.
No, we thank you guys, Crux guys, if you guys ever
much.
Watch something like this. But
yes, absolutely,
we appreciate it. So
after Crux, we went over to JRE, talked to Vivian, who is Justo's daughter. She's very nice. They don't have any new products this year. The one thing they did do is they changed up the artwork on the Aladino boxes. So on the inside, they added some very nice artwork. Came from a picture that was in, let's just say, a Cuban newspaper, or something like that. They changed up, a little bit of the design, just because, I guess, between Cuba and things like that, being able to determine if you're going to be able to have licensing rights or whatever or not. Instead of doing something and then down the road not working out, they modified the design a little bit, changed up some colors, some of the artwork, just to make it a little bit different. colors go fantastic with the bands on the cigars and things like that. So not anything really cigar wise, but just a little bit of packaging. Yeah, very nice.
It's a facelift.
Yeah,
right. Well, they had the Aladino in the what I call it as the all Cuban, especially Cohiba Reserva Selection box, right? So what many guys probably know better as what Pete Johnson and Tatuaje did last year with his the broadleaf release that he did,
right?
Broadleaf collection.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that Jerry did it this year that we saw so far within Day One trade show.
Right.
Jerry doing that.
Yeah.
As well as Santana doing that.
Yeah.
They rip off / pay homage to Cuban style.
Yeah. So Justo was very busy in the booth. We're hoping to get back later this week to talk to him. So we do that, we'll be able to share a little bit more in regards to that. Next up, we went to the Sereno booth, talked to Carson. He has a new cigar called the Wayfarer that's coming out this year. I think he said September as well for that. It's very good looking packaging on that. He kind of gave us the backstory on how he came up with the name, kind of a backpacking tie-in with all that. The cigar comes out of the La Corona factory.
It looks good. If I remember right, it is a Nica Corojo blend. I love Corojo in general. So and we highly encouraged him to come up to a future primetime Coop show with Aaron and Coop to give that whole story. It's a really cool story. Yeah, you guys should tune in to listen to that.
Yep. After that, we stopped by Fratello, talked to Omar. He just came off a really busy spell, so he was like starting to calm down after all that. I mean, he's in a really good booth spot this year, so in between some big guys.
Right.
So, I think he got a ton of traffic. He's got the new cigar this year, the Nevada, and I want to say that means shuttle in or rocket in Italian. I'm part of Italian, so I'm an idiot for not doing more research before I did it. But it has a space theme. It's a space theme. So very cool presentation on what he had to say. He had a space shuttle and a rocket in the booth. Not full size, of course.
No.
But
sick presentation.
The cigars were kind of in the bay of the shuttle, which made it look awesome. The shuttle was really detailed, and then within the rocket, there was kind of a transparent section where the cigars were in there. So the presentation is really nice because it's got the standard Fratello band design, but it's almost like it's like it's got kind of like that pearl white with some maybe silver grayish tones, and then the big difference on this is the foot band is pretty large. I mean, it takes up maybe a couple of inches on this one, and it has the line name on it. But look, the packaging looks fantastic.
Sleek is the word I would use for that look.
Yes, space. Very
space shuttle, sleek.
Yeah,
that silvery gray thing going on.
Right.
It pops really nicely.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to getting a chance to try that cigar. After that, we had a couple of appointments set up. The first one was Davidoff was doing a media event where they were going to be doing kind of some announcements from kind of some of the key players in the different divisions, as well as announce the Golden Band Awards. So we got a chance to hear about the performance of the brands from the previous year and what their expectations are for this year. Got to do the Golden Band award announcements. So, very deserving winners in regards to that. They did, bestseller, single store, multiple stores, Canada stores. And then I think it was like, I think retailer is the wrong word. That needed to use it, a classier word than retailer. But
in general, Davidoff, being our second year going into the media event, because they do a private invite-only media event.
Right.
It's so when people think about Davidoff, they typically think about luxury, think about class, think about sophistication, right? So the media event is just like that, right? Like they pour you champagne, they give you hors d'oeuvres, right? And everything is so classy, right? Like the whole presentation, within the gift that they give to us at the end, everything just looks classic luxury is really nice.
Yeah. So the big cigars for the trade show are the Winston Churchill Late Hour, which is aged in Scotch
cask,
in Scotch casks. The Camacho Nicaragua barrel aged, so Nicaraguan rum, correct, and then the Avo Cinco Ritmo.
Yep.
So the newest Avo blend. So we're looking forward to.
And I'm pretty sure we got all the vitolas in these
for the late hour. Probably for the Nicaraguan barrel age as well.
Yeah. So I mean, we're really looking forward to smoking these. With any Davidoff, I feel like most of our readers and just cigar enthusiasts alike, it's a matter of, hey, is it worth for me to drop the coin on it?
Right.
So we're looking forward to smoking those and report on those to you guys soon.
And ST DuPont's part of the group now over at Davidoff, and they talked about a travel humidor that they have. We didn't stop by to take a look at it just because of how busy the booth was with all the media kind of there as for that thing. So we'll hit it up later in the week. It sounds fantastic. Sounds expensive. So
you can make for damn sure it's going to be expensive.
So it's, I understand, crocodile skin.
I don't know.
So it sounds fancy. So we're gonna
lighter.
And the lighter they have does dual soft flames, then you can convert it into a torch on the fly.
Yeah.
So while you're in the soft flame, you can switch it over to torch.
It looks sick.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's gonna be like $300-400.
Yeah. So we will go get some pictures of the ST DuPont stuff later this week and talk more about that if we talk to some of the people over there. After that, Ventura Cigars was doing a media event. So we went over there and saw Ben. They are doing the kind of two releases that they're doing this year is the Hugo Chairman, and then also they are releasing the first 5 case studies.
Right.
And then those are a mix of blends from Rocky, Plasencia. There's a few other ones in there. So very looking forward to smoking those.
So within the case studies, to talk a little bit about that, what Ben told us was it was essentially, they went out to the Drew Estates, the Rockies, the Davidoff, very well-known, respected, brand owners and factories, and they said, hey, within your warehouse, what's out there that's, on the LE side that's, tasty, and they basically collaborated with all these guys and they brought in these cigars called Case Study.
Right.
One of the things that we didn't partake in, but what was offered at that media event was they had 3 bottles of different bourbons, and they said, hey, try that out with all these different case studies and see what you guys think.
Right.
So, that's something that we could do. We could easily do when we get back.
Yep.
So,
and we'll go back and chat with Ben. I mean, when you go to the organized media events, there's a ton of media there. So after it kind of wraps up, a lot of people want time and things like that. So typically what we do in those scenarios is we kind of like excuse ourselves. We find that to be a good time to hit up some other booths, and then we'll come back and chat with them. Sometimes they try to do it to maybe see if they can get all the media time at one clip. But if we find that they're not busy and they have time, we'll try to chat. We don't want to say, all right, we're gonna take time from you twice. But if they have time, we can go back and chat. So that wrapped up a little earlier than we expected because like I said, we kind of left to give him time with everybody else. So we were able to hit a few other booths.
We got some cool swag from them.
Yes. There was a very nice travel case.
Yeah.
A nice, kind of a notebook that you can use for taking cigar notes. The travel case, very fantastic. Yep, with all
many layers.
Yes. What else in there? A cutter.
Cutter. You talk about that little water flask.
Oh yeah, there's like an aluminum water bottle. That's pretty cool. I think that's all the stuff that was in there.
Yeah.
So that was good. So it was great. So looking forward to smoking the case studies finally, and that Hugo Chairman. That'll be interesting. So after that, we went over to the Saga booth.
Yes.
Talked to Jean-Michel.
Mm-hmm.
Very friendly guy.
Very really nice guy.
Yeah, and what they have this year is they have the short tails, kind of volume 3 through 5. I'm not going to go try and do the naming of them just because it's Latin, and I'm the.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Latin.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
So I don't want to look like an idiot more than I already do, but these are all very small vitolas. That was I think the first two are much larger than this.
These are definitely your typical 20 to 40 minute.
Yeah,
40 minutes is stretching it.
Right.
Maybe like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, these are very small vitolas, so I'll be interested. I mean, it's gonna be one of those ones you're like, can I really, break this review out into thirds or something like that? Yeah. Because it's gonna be like, you may just have to say, just do flavor notes for the cigar kind of thing and go with that. But I really like the concept with this because the boxes look like books.
Yeah.
Like, nice books that would be in a library with, leather bound and all that kind of stuff. So they said that they did, you can see kind of what they look like. I think they planned 10 of these volumes. So he said a few of the other ones were kind of spaced out, and they had like a full bookcase set up with like a big mirror and a fireplace there. I don't think they have, I don't know if the cigars were actually in the boxes, but they have the other 5 volumes.
That's how the cigars come.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you can purchase boxes. Yeah.
So the other 5 volumes are planned as well. So we're looking to smoke in these volumes and then seeing kind of what they come out in the future as well. We hit the Mombacho booth. We actually had a dinner with Mombacho last night. So this is kind of continuation of that. They have a very interesting cigar concept that they're working on called the Coseca. This one, the one that's coming out this year is the Coseca 2012. Basically, what the goal of this is to be a true vintage cigar. So all tobacco from Nicaragua from the same year. It could be different farms and things like that within Nicaragua, but the goal is to have all tobacco from the same year, kind of to go along with kind of how the wine world works and things like that. So I think they have right now, the cigars already rolled between the 2012 to 2015 vintage. Yep. So each year, so next year the 2013 will come out, and then 2014, and they're not necessarily all the same tobaccos from the same farm every year. It's just based on the tobacco that they thought that was the best and made the best blend for Nicaragua for the year that they were rolling.
It's a country. It's a Puro in the sense of it's all from the same country, i.e. Nicaragua.
But it's not like an estate,
right? Where
it's all tobacco from the same farm,
right?
So there's even in the wine world, there's that delineation. You have vintage, which is the grapes from the same year,
and then you have estate, which has to be like X percentage of the grapes has to come from that particular vineyard,
right?
So it doesn't get that specific, but it's kind of playing off of that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Also in the Mombacho booth is Patina,
right?
So Connecticut and Habano for Patina.
Yep.
We're gonna go back, talk to Mo a little bit more. We had a little bit of time with him yesterday and just really briefly today, so we'll talk to him a little bit more later in the show. That was kind of it for us. We were walking out. I had packed up the camera and everything, but we kind of walked by the Tommy Bahama booth, and one of the guys said hi to us. So we said hi back, and then we started talking to Ryan. Was his name, right? Super nice guy. Asked us if we were familiar with the brand. We're familiar with the brand. I mean, who's never heard of Tommy Bahama? But not very familiar with the cigar aspect of it. So they have a ton of accessories, and they have some cigars. I think we talked for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, so probably for like 15 of the 20 minutes.
Yeah,
he thought that we were retailers, so he started like talking about like show specials and blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he's like, what do you guys do? Yeah. Oh, we're at a meeting.
We didn't want to interrupt, and I don't think he felt bad at the end either.
No.
I think the information that he was giving was great. I really love to hear how they work with retailers and things like that. And he was very adamant about how much they want to work with the retailer and help them, and how how they price things and how they work with them on display and all that kind of stuff. So that was all great to hear. So we were very glad he went through all that. They have some fantastic looking stuff.
Yeah, Tommy Bahama, that name is backed by it means quality to me, right? It means relaxation, it means quality, it means like water sports, perhaps like fishing and you know, that kind of a thing.
Beach lifestyle.
Beach lifestyle. So I feel like within the accessory side of things, cutters, lighters, ashtrays, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
In terms of the cigars, we don't know. We're gonna get some to try, and then I'm looking forward to smoking those. But like even with the cigars, right? Like they went a step ahead, and like the boxing presentation looks nice. They have a, I believe, a porcelain style a jar that looks really well made. So it looks like they're doing it all right, right? But it's you know, see what our palates say about the cigars.
Really neat printing method they have on the lighters and things like that, and the cutters where they have it's kind of like a multi-tiered, they call it kind of 3D printing method. So texture on the things. Cutters look fantastic. Lighters really, they have tabletop, they have regular lighters, some neat ashtrays, kind of like a cigar box that kind of folds out and is an ashtray and got a cutter and all that stuff. You know, 2-finger, 3-finger cigar cases. You know, they have standard like kind of a porcelain and ashtrays, things like that, but they also have some that are made from polymer. So they don't, you know, they don't break like if you have them by the pool and stuff like that. They look really nice. And they had that kind of like that leather travel case. They had like the cutter and the lighter in there, and also had room for like maybe 5 cigars, something like that. So stuff looks really nice.
It looks well thought of. It looks practical, well thought of, versatile. I was taken back by how much thought was put into all of these products.
And the price point isn't crazy. I mean, like I think I want to say like tabletop lighter was like $99. Handheld was like $79, something like that, and you know, everything's kind of in that range. But I mean,
it's reasonable.
It's reasonable, but the quality of everything looks really good. So, and the cutter is pretty interesting. It's you know, it's 2 blades, but there's a center body in it. But it's nice because you can use 2 fingers to do the cutting, but you can also use your index finger and maybe your pinky to kind of hold the top and bottom, so you kind of have a 4-finger grip on it. So looks pretty cool. So we're gonna go back. Like I said, I had the camera packed up, so I need to take some more pictures and things like that. We'll go there and chat with them some more. That's it for the booths that we hit. I know tons of things that people are gonna want to talk about is how many people are at the show. Is it busy? What's going on? For me, my opinion, there was pockets of super busyness, pockets of super emptiness. I don't really know. It almost seems to me like the floor is smaller than it was last year. I don't know if it's just there's less companies there. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it might have been, but I like the convention, right? Like the AC was kicking. You know, people felt it was good energy. I felt. But yeah, I mean, you know, we solicited some feedback from some of the brand owners, and you know, we got a mixture of, hey, it's been really slow, and most of those feedback we got were guys that are in the very back of the convention center, right? So typically the way it goes is retailers will come in, they'll hit up all the big guys, right? To get their buys at the Generals, or Altudes, or Rockies, the Drew Estate. And then on day 2 and 3 and so forth is where they'll say, okay, within the remaining of our budget, you know, what other things are we looking to get? So, but the thing is, it's like you talk to some of the mid-size or even some of the smaller guys that are in better booth positions, such as guys who are by the Rockies and Altudes and Drew Estates, and they say they're doing great. Right?
Yeah, there's what I thought was interesting. There's some guys that I said, I did as much business today as I did the entire show last year.
Like
the first day,
right?
So
amazing.
It may be one of those cases where people are going to say, oh, attendance is lower, but it might be a situation where again, it's people that are here to buy.
Right.
So that's the way it works. It's good. That's good for business. I mean, so yeah, we skipped by a couple booths just because they're really busy doing business. So we'll go back to them and things like that. But I mean, I thought we covered a ton of ground today.
Because our approach is, I mean, at the end of it, within these manufacturers and brand owners that are there, they're there to sell, right? We're there to cover media, right? We're there for PR, media, you know, things like that. So that takes precedence way over what we're doing.
Right.
And we have 5 days, right?
Yep.
So.
Oh, 4.
Oh,
three and a half.
3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, usually most years I'm like, we don't have enough time. Now,
right.
But usually sometimes the first day I'm way more optimistic than I should be. And then by the last day, we're like, oh, we're scrambling to finish.
I mean, we hit up 21 booths today.
Yeah.
Which starting essentially an hour late than the other days.
Yeah.
Except for the last day. That's good progress.
Yeah.
But there's tons of booths out there. There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we still have Altadis in general who will take up time because there's so many brands within those
right.
groups and things like that. So,
right.
you know, there's some Andrew Estate and things like that. So there will be a lot of things there that we'll have to hit. So
for sure.
I think that's it for today. I mean, I don't have more thoughts on like just generalized stuff as the show goes on. But
great show, great day. Feel energetic. Energy is good in general about the show and all that. We're gonna go shut this down, and we're gonna go to the dojo party.
That's right.
And see Cornelius Anthony folks, Protocol guys, of course, the Greater Espinosa folks, and see a bunch of new and old faces alike.
Exactly. So I hope this gives you a little bit of feel of the show. We're going to do this every day after the show.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. If there's any other information that you're looking for, or just the different content we can provide in these recaps, let us know. We'll try to throw that in there as well. But
and follow Instagram. We're going to post Matt Booth's ass, first of all.
Yes.
So look for our Instagram post.
Yeah,
at his ass.
We got a picture of the best side of Matt Booth today.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of at a skinny butt, but whatever.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you back on tomorrow. Have a great time. Let us know if there's anything else you want from us, and we'll try to do what we can. Thanks.